Aero, this is going to be the interview segment we're going to do right now. And Charlie Nolen is with us. Charlie, good morning. Thanks for being here today.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for...
Pull that microphone a little closer to you there.
How's
there
that?
you go. Don't be nervous.
All right.
The only thing that has smelled like it's burning has been this little power supply down here, and it doesn't affect that. So
that sounds good. I'll make sure we stay away from the smoke.
Well, how you doing, Charlie?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks
good.
for having us on this morning.
A little tired this morning. Joby and I went up to Portales and did a softball doubleheader last night.
Did it turn out the way it needed to?
Well, if you're an Artesia softball fan, absolutely.
Yeah.
They won both of those games, but we both saw something that we rarely or had never really seen. There was a play at the plate. The umpire ruled.
Yep.
The next batter comes up, and 2 pitches are thrown, and then the other team challenges the play, and the umpires reversed the call.
Wow.
After they'd already thrown 2 pitches to the next batter. So we'd never seen anything like that before.
I'm not sure of the rules there, but
yeah,
that's
apparently I'm not either.
Well,
because I was of the impression you couldn't do that, but
perhaps they're not as well. So we'll find out.
We will find out.
I'm sure someone's looking into that.
Yeah. So Aero, for those that don't know, Aero, if you drive by the public safety complex,
Yes, sir.
most of the time you'll see a helicopter.
Yes, sir.
Parked there. Is that you guys?
That's us. So we've got 2 locations in Eddy County. There's one here, and then we have a second helicopter in Carlsbad out at the training center. So you'll see one at either location. We've got a 3rd helicopter in Chavez County at the Eastern New Mexico Medical Center.
Mm-hmm.
We've got an airplane there, and then we've got a second airplane that kind of floats around and helps out in high volume times. So, yep, we're in and out, and aircraft may be there, it may be gone. The crews are inside, but we try to keep them here to make sure the community's covered, and we've got plenty of backup for everybody.
So how did you get involved with Aero? Did you come in from the pilot side,
no.
from the aircraft side, or from the medical side?
No, I came in from the medical side. So all my background is medicine. I actually grew up in Los Alamos and worked for the fire department there, and then my wife and my family, we moved to Dallas-Fort Worth area and started flying for a company there called PHI. And so I've worked there for about 12 years and had the invitation to come over and work with Aero. So I made the move. We still live in the Metroplex, but I'm here a couple times a month at least. So no, all mine's on the medical side. So I did all my paramedic school in Roswell at the college and worked there for a while. So it's
pretty exciting.
It's kind of like home. It's back. I know a lot of people. It's pretty easy to.
Have you ever thought about going ahead and getting the pilot's license and sitting up front?
No, I laugh with the pilots all the time. I don't want that responsibility. And they laugh at us and say, "What do you mean?"
Well, because you have a medical patient
that's right.
that you're trying to take care of.
Patient to take care of. But no, it's one of those. I enjoy flying. I love it. I love to get on the aircraft. I have no desire to actually pilot that thing.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just when I've got a lot of time in the left seat as a co-pilot, and I can do that as long as I got somebody to turn it back over to.
The responsible person to
That's
run
right.
on. See, my problem is I'd get on the front of the helicopter and I'd start doing the Airwolf theme.
Uh-oh.
Like, can this fly Mach? Is this a Mach helicopter? Which, of course, I don't think can happen.
Nope,
Not
in a helicopter.
Can fly, break the speed of sound.
About 150 miles an hour is what we did in those.
Well, that's
maybe
pretty fast.
Maybe 200 if you're on a good day. But yeah, it's sounds like you could have used one last night.
Well, we were talking about that. Joby and I went up to Portales last night, and that would have been kind of cool. But I'm assuming that it's not inexpensive to fly one of these.
Man,
things.
it's not inexpensive at all. The cost of the aircraft is just skyrocketed. Fuel for them hovers around $8 a gallon right now.
Mm-hmm.
Typical flight, from Artesia to El Paso or Lubbock, we're going to burn close to 80 gallons of fuel. So
wow.
Just one direction.
Yeah.
So the way home is empty, we just eat it. But it is expensive. It's frowned upon to take an asset out of the community to go to sporting events,
No, I totally understand.
I get it. But
yeah.
No, we we enjoy it. We've sat here. We've always had a good relationship with the hospital and with the city and the county and the staff that's here at the fire station locally. And we just we're glad to be here. We're glad to serve the community. This past year, the city purchased a countywide membership. So some people may or may not have gotten it. We sent the mailers out to everybody. It came. It's got your card that's on it. We have a lot of questions. Well, what if I don't have my card? And it doesn't matter. You're enrolled off your address. So
Okay.
Everybody in Eddy County has that membership. And what it does for the community is if you're flown by Trans-Aero, there's no bill to be paid by the person itself. Yep, we're going to bill your insurance company, and we're going to try to collect those payments as we normally would. But whether it's in the form of a deductible or a straight cost, the community doesn't see that. So the last thing people need when they're sick or a family member sick is worrying about the finance of moving patients, and we know it's expensive to fly them. So thanks to the city and everybody that helped make that happen. It's just it is a really, really good tool that everybody has. But
it's available.
It's there. It's just if you're in that situation, you remind the hospital that you have one. It always helps out, but unfortunately, it does not extend our competitors. So if it's not a Trans-Aero helicopter, it won't work.
So ask for Trans-Aero.
You will have to ask. Yep, make sure that they're utilizing Trans-Aero. And it doesn't matter if it's the helicopter from Roswell or a plane. We do have, especially through COVID, we're flying patients long distance, and take somebody from here to Houston or Dallas. The airplanes were here, and it's all covered as long as it's a Trans-Aero operated aircraft.
That's amazing. I was telling Charlie before. It's been a few years now, but I benefited from one of these flights.
Yep.
After a medical incident to Lubbock, and I thank goodness, thank God, thank whoever that service is available. And I can only imagine for other patients that strokes or
trauma, cardiac events. It's and we're really lucky in Eddy County. So typically you'll see the configuration on a helicopter across the nation is a paramedic and a nurse that fly with it. At Trans-Aero, we've Ken Davis was our program director, and he kind of had this vision. He wanted to see a provider, so either a nurse practitioner, a PA, or a physician that flies with these paramedics. So we're one of very few companies in the United States that actually flies a mid-level or a physician with a paramedic. That's how our aircraft are staffed, and we carry whole blood and plasma, and there's just a number of procedures that we can do on the aircraft because we've got the capabilities to do them. But it really is, I think, in total, there's only 2 other companies in the United States that operate this way.
Wow.
So it's a pretty
in good
neat
hands.
benefit. Yeah, you're in
not to steal from another insurance company.
No,
you really are in good hands on one of these flights.
That's right. So we work with the community and the hospitals, and it's just a good spot to operate. We enjoy our time here and the support that the community gives us, and we enjoy giving back. And
so your crew, the medical staff,
yes, sir.
Are they from here? Are they from Dallas, or do you bring them in from all over?
Yeah, it's a mix. So we do have some local staff, and then we have some that travel in, and we've got people from, South Dakota. I'm trying to think some further places, Washington and Oregon. We've got a couple that come in, one from Utah. So I know they come from all over to work. It's just a unique spot for the providers to be in, where they could work on the aircraft, and it's fun. It's good. It's good. It's a good support.
Now the aircraft themselves, what's term of life on these aircraft? Because you don't fly these things indefinitely. They've got a lifespan, right?
Yeah. So
in this use, and they may wind up going someplace else.
Yeah,
but
that's
in this use.
Correct. So like Trans-Aero, we've been around since 1966, but it's operated primarily utility helicopters. So firefighting, long line, stuff, setting helicopter or air conditioning units, just seismic work, whatever it was. So they've operated them And it's different. When you put a patient in it, it changes. So,
Sure.
for example, we have a Black Hawk on the utility side, and it's a decommissioned military Black Hawk, but we could never, put a patient in it.
Right,
It's just
right,
not.
yeah.
So on our side, we're limited to about 12,000 operating hours on that aircraft.
Wow.
Is off the top of my head would be my guess. That's a really, really large inspection that goes through. So you can imagine the amount of maintenance that goes
yeah,
in.
absolutely.
On a daily basis. These pilots and mechanics look over the aircraft a couple times a day before and after flights. And unfortunately, a bolt you buy at Home Depot for 69 cents when it says aviation is
not 69 cents.
$15.69. So, but it's good. There's a lot of redundancies. It keeps people safe, and
absolutely.
That's what we're after.
And then the training for the medical staff, is that similar training to what other EMTs or is there?
Well, you have to have so much time before you come in, and there's a set of criteria that we use for our accreditation that makes, I think it's 3 years, on a busy service, before you can actually get on this. But once you come in, we do have a pretty rigorous process, and we train locally here at the fire station, but it's about 14 days is what they get, and then they're assigned to a preceptor, and so they fly for another 90 days or so with a preceptor and make sure that everything's good before they're kind of cut where they can work.
Well, I would assume it's one thing on the ground.
Correct.
And then it's another thing to do this in the air, and so that's probably part of the training process, is because you may have some people that may wash out from.
Yeah, no,
they're perfectly good working on the ground in the ambulance, but when they get in the air.
Yeah. So really, what gets them, the medicine side, they understand it's the functioning around the aircraft, and there's a lot that goes into that, and some just aren't cut out. We get them and they fly a little bit, and they say, I can't. I don't like that. I'm going back to the ground. I like being secure on the
which is
on the
fine,
ground.
but
absolutely,
yeah.
But no, we've got a pretty stringent hiring process that we go through and try to get the right people, just like everybody. You try to get the right one first, but it happens sometimes that we're not a good mix for everyone, and we get that. And
wow,
no harm, no foul.
That's pretty amazing. So Trans-Aero has other divisions, so they provide other services other than just the medical transportation.
We do. The utility side does a lot of firefighting activities, especially this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But we support, fires and different park services from Florida all the way to Washington into Oregon. So it's just.
Did they call you to any of the Ruidoso stuff recently, or?
If they do, I don't know it, but I don't.
Because you're on the medical side.
Yeah, I don't believe they did. I think most of our aircraft are actually tied up on contracts already between South Dakota, Florida. There's a couple in Colorado. I believe there's one in northern New Mexico, and I don't know exactly, but that's from our meetings. I believe that's what I recall.
But that's another interesting aspect of the business. So.
It is. It's interesting. It operates a little differently. Ours is just such an emergency where that one's a little more planned out until you're on that emergency, and then
that's right.
It's go, go, go. But a different set of skills, for those pilots and mechanics. But it really, when they get slow, we use a lot of the pilots. They'll come over and work over and help our staff out, and it's really neat to get those guys on our side, just because they fly different missions and their skill sets are different, and so to blend those is pretty neat.
And just like an ambulance that runs on the ground, the air ambulance or the fixed wing have to be equipped with all the medical supplies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We it carries about $250,000 worth of medical equipment on it.
Wow.
For every time that it leaves. So
then even if you just use a Band-Aid, you still have to inventory everything and make sure it's all properly stocked.
Absolutely. And weight's critical, and so you can't carry too much. It was nice on the ambulance. If you needed a couple 4x4s, you grabbed a box of them because you just had space and it didn't matter. But these helicopters, it's pretty tight. The margins are thin, so especially summertime, it's just hot, and
Yeah.
The operation.
Well, the weather, I'm guessing the pilot has to make a call because of weather. I mean, most of the time it's okay to fly, but I'm sure like a week ago.
It wasn't. No. The pilot is that's a pilot in command. Is the PIC is what they are, and that's their final authority. They get to choose if that aircraft moves or not. There are some operational control people above them that can stop a flight even if they accept it and they don't like what it looks like. The crew members at any time can say, hey, I don't like this, and we're done. It's hard some days to explain that to the hospitals or your customers, but they get it. We don't want to jeopardize anyone's safety, and neither do they. But it is they have a ton of hours before they start flying, and it's a unique skill set that they have. They're meteorologists as well as pilots.
Oh yeah. Well, and the technology has really changed. I mean, you watch the World War II movies, and you see them with all these dials and everything, and then you realize, no, it's not like that anymore. It's computer screens and interfacing that way, and the tablets and the flight plans and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Technology's really advanced.
Yeah, we used to have to carry a 35-pound bag in the aircraft that had manuals in it and
your charts,
all the charts and paper, and now it's on an iPad that each of them carry, and it's pretty easy to get through. But
it is crazy. Now, parachutes?
Yep.
They have to be equipped with them.
No, we don't carry any parachutes.
Really?
No.
It's interesting.
Just not enough. I don't know the legalities. I guess with aircraft falling, you don't want to step out of it, at the same time.
Well, that's true. Being a helicopter.
Go through the egg beaters on top.
My brother-in-law, Marines, Vietnam, was a mechanic on helicopters. And he was kind of a jokester. And so his mother, my mother-in-law, went, well, what do you do? In the Marines? And he said, well, I work on ejector seats in helicopters.
Yep. You only do it once.
That was his running joke. And she's like, oh, well, that sounds very interesting.
That's neat.
It's neat to do that. So for those, again, and the reason we have Charlie here just talking about this whole thing, but the main thing is if you're a resident of Eddy County, you do not have to worry about if whatever the medical situation is and the doctor says we need to fly to another facility.
Right.
You don't have to worry about the cost of that as long as you say that's fine. Please use Trans-Aero.
Yep. And the patients have that right. They can always request that. It is the higher level of care. We don't want that. We don't want the financial burden to ever have someone choose whether they fly one or don't fly, and we've taken that away.
No, that's fantastic that you're doing it. We are so glad that you're here. Do you ever get the opportunity to? I know COVID's really affected things the last couple of years, but do you ever get a chance to put the helicopters on display and let kids come out and take a look? And
absolutely. Stuff? We're always open for public relations events, and if there's things where people would like us, you can go to our website and there's contacts and we can get that scheduled. But we
and that's always
career days
upon,
and fair days. It's weather and, like you said, staffing. Hopefully we're there. We're not flying. It seems like every time we line one of those up, we end up flying somewhere.
You get a call, that takes priority.
Yep, and we have to go. But no, we try to do as much community involvement as we can and put it on display. And I picked up the fair book, so I'm kind of partial to that. My kids are all cattle showers.
Is that right?
I hope to be back. We can get involved with the fair a little bit.
Oh, they'd love to have you out there. Yeah, they'd love to have you over there. And is this in Dallas where they show?
Ellis County. It's just south of Dallas. Yep.
Okay.
But I grew up in New Mexico and high school, junior rodeoed, and so I was all over this country for a long time.
Well, Los Alamos is beautiful country.
It is. It was great. It was even better before the fire, but it is.
I know.
It's different now. But
because that fire, when was the fire? That was because it burned right up near the town, didn't it?
Yeah, that
really
was
close.
May of 2000. 2000 or 2001, somewhere in there.
But and it just takes a long, long time for forests and everything to recover. And
Yeah.
there's still places on the way to Cloudcroft from fires that happened years ago that are just now
Absolutely
recovering. And then Ruidoso, there were spots that were still recovering from one of the prior fires.
Absolutely.
And now this thing is going to affect a lot of people too. So.
Yeah. No, we've got a big conference next week in Ruidoso, and we just got word no, we're good. We're going to have it. So I'm glad. It's been a couple years since COVID, and we haven't been able to have it, but it's a really good conference. So we look forward to seeing all of our partners up there and being up there for the week.
Well, good. Well, Charlie, is there any? I mean, if people have questions about this, is there
the
somebody they can reach out to?
Yeah, the website's the best way. It's got a fact page on it. There's ways to contact us, and that's the easiest way to make. Now
they don't call you when they need the services.
No.
That goes through your medical professionals.
Yeah. So the dispatch agency that we all use in Eddy County is Rita, and our aircraft are dispatched through there. So it's real easy to get a hold of us through 911. But nope, the EMTs or the paramedics on scene will make that decision, or the hospital will. Mm-hmm. That's how that works. But
request Trans-Aero and know that through this arrangement that you have with the city of Artesia, if you're an Eddy County resident, you're covered.
The finances won't be the burden of your thoughts.
Let me tell you, when we had ours, that was an issue.
Yeah.
And when it was finally resolved, that was a relief.
It is.
And that time between was very stressful, and so you don't. With Trans-Aero, you do not have that stress level, at least for that part of it.
It's gone. Yeah, that's right.
So
we're just happy to be able to help you in your time of need and not burden you with the finances.
Excellent. By the way, a little tech question: is that a Mini? Is that
that is a Mini.
iPhone Mini?
It is.
I have not seen one in the wild. I've got the Pro Max, but that's
I just I don't like to have a case, and I like it to fit in my pocket easy.
Yeah.
So that's what I carry.
Yeah, you're the one they designed it for.
That's right. That's right.
Well, those are neat. I don't know that they're going to come out with those when they do the update here this spring.
I sure hope so.
They may be done making that model of the phone, but
I hope not. I'm going to need a new one. So.
And they would love for you to buy one.
That's right. They better make a Mini if they want me to buy it then.
All right, Shirley Nolen, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Anything else you wanted to cover today?
Thank you to all of you in the community and everybody that supported us and have us here, and let us know if we can help you out in any way.
Excellent. Trans-Aero, Charlie Nolen, thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
I hope I never need you.
I agree. I'd like to see you this way. That's it.
All right.